you don't really need to worry about him too much. And all of these lanes are self-sufficient. So I think that we've had like 2 spots in the last couple of weeks in LCS, LEC, LCK where I feel like Ramus
I thought it was
could have...
Moose, by the way.
Well, listen, I've gotten a lot of complaints. Okay.
Okay, not Ramus.
Would have been quite interesting to see. Everyone is actually still affected by the Ninja Tab Eyes.
Yeah.
So even though there's an Ekko and a Bard, that item is still super good.
Yeah, you can itemize differently to get around it. You can get cleanse on your Caitlyn. You can build McHale's eventually, and then just everybody stack Ninja Tab Eye.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to be in for a fantastic game.
Yeah, this is, I mean, it should be a pretty interesting one. CuVee should be having the time of his life up in top as long as he survives first recall. That is all that he has to be worried about. Now, Lucian has been getting buffed. One of his bigger buffs came in 10-16, so this is not 10-16. It's not the buff to his Q and the buff to his R. That is not present here. Trundle only has to match counter gank everything on Graves, even though Graves is beating him in a vacuum, which is why Trundle is such a peculiar pick. That's why I was suggesting, I mean, you're getting into territories where even like Malphite jungle starts becoming like somewhat passable here.
Yeah, well, he got trapped by Trapnel. It happens to the best of us. As here we go, guys, we're going into game number 2. This time, Hanwha on the blue side, KT on the red side. At least he has a cool Trundle skin, so we can give that to him. And they are looking for a little bit of a play here. No, just hanging out. Not going to invade or anything like that.
Oh, and Ignite Graves yet again. And he's already not very mobile in this team comp. Especially in the later stages. I mean, things get very, very rough later on. I'm surprised Kennen didn't go with more sustain rune. CuVee, honestly, the moxie on this guy by taking Spellbook here against Smeb up in top. And you can see Azir just going for lots of sustain. The Electrocute strikes me as weird. Hail of Blades gives a lot more lane power.
Yeah.
And then it scales better. So I'm not sure why the Electrocute, because Azir doesn't need to win his lane against Ekko. But if he is going to win it, a lot of it's going to be through auto attacks and just spacing.
Yeah, it does seem a bit confusing. That stun is going to miss. Exhaust doubly used here. The 2-man play as Viper is going to take an immense amount of damage, but they're able to chip back against aiming. Kind of an even trade towards the end, but a nice little stun there by TusiN.
The thing is that Bard's able to sustain this back up.
Yeah.
Much more effectively than Thresh and Caitlyn. But Viper and Lehends, they get the first shove, and Trundle, I mean, again, the onus is not on him to gank. It is only to match and counter gank, and then outscale. Viper and Lehends, they're going to ding level 2 first. Nothing's going to be done with it, though. Aiming and TusiN in a pretty safe spot. Do you ever play Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, well, I played like the original, like the Sega.
Okay.
And like the arcade game.
Do you know who Cyrax is?
Sounds familiar.
The yellow robot? Because, I mean, that's what this Bard skin looks like. Looks like Cyrax found his way into a bakery.
Kind of looks like Blitzcrank.
That, yeah, you know, maybe Blitzcrank before he, like...
You said yellow robot, and that's the first thing I thought of. This is almost like human Blitzcrank? Not human, but like, I don't know, like mammal version of Blitzcrank? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
All right. I can see that too.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. And Smeb doesn't actually go for a cheater. He's just playing the lane out normally, and these aren't really accruing any advantages. He's only up 2 CS at the end of the day on the first 3 waves.
Yeah.
We'll see what else ends up happening. Viper, so he's going to shove in. That's wave 4, and okay, we have a cheater. Recall coming in for Caitlyn.
Oh, double trades coming in here. Lehends was just waiting alongside of YeongJae.
And you can see the Ashe and the Bard. They have to be cautious. And this is one of the benefits of a cheater, is they can't just treat it as if you're not there. They have to respect that you could be there, even though you're probably not. And so Caitlyn gets the call, refillable pot, comes back to lane, full HP, full mana, and now pulls wave 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and Ashe doesn't have teleport.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, Viper just has better combat stats, more sustain, better lane position, hangs out with the Phyllis dude.
And look at this. He might actually just get the kill as well. There you go. It looks like a flash net to finish him off at the end of that all. So, oh man, this is even better. And I think you can just sit back. You don't have to push. Looks like he might be pushing though. He was doing really well up until that moment. YeongJae's gonna come in here and really try to push the issue in the mid lane as Ucal.
And he's doing this because Ucal doesn't want to expend his teleport here. So he joins him up in mid lane to help the Azir, or Mireu, sorry.
Yeah.
Mireu doesn't want to expend his teleport. He wants to retain teleport advantage. So by having Trundle come in and shove out with him, he's able to save his teleport and not be locked up. If he still TPs, I am going to be very upset. No, he's not. He's going to
Wow.
Yeah, okay.
5-head.
All right, finally.
Wow.
Some proper lane manipulation.
Almost like lane manipulation works.
Now,
I
Lucian. All right.
You always talk about it, but I just... I never believed it until this moment. Hanwha Life versus KT. Can't believe it.
That's what it takes. And get Infernal.
Yeah, they will.
Ooh, oh, oh, oh.
Whoa. Now, we've seen this before.
I wish I could do, like, opera noises and... Sorry, you know, like...
If this were a musical, you would break out into song right now.
I am hearing Final Fantasy music in my ears right now. Return to Xanarkin.
Now, it would be even better if he just sat there and froze it and didn't push back. But the last time he pushed it back to go pick up a pickaxe. So he's getting more value there, but you can deny a lot from Ashe here. But with Bard meeting up, and I don't know, I would like to see the bottom lane. Looks like he is freezing.
Yeah, it does actually look like Kate.
Sure.
Yeah, he is. You are the reason you can't have nice things.
You said yes, he is, and the second that happens, he switched to his view and he pushes the wave.
Nope. That is not a real thing.
잡았다.
Dang.
Got him.
나 노플이야.
I have no flat.
I have no flat, yeah. And Viper's mouse really good. Always a treat to watch. Okay.
Nice.
Gets the cleanse out.
Yeah, this is a pretty good start for Hanwha Life in terms of the lanes. We see that there was a trade of ultimates in the mid lane.
Yeah.
But the Infernal did go the way of KT.
And Mireu is actually ahead in the CS department here against the Ekko. He's also maintaining a lot of pressure in mid. CuVee, I mean, he's lost one turret plate, but it's really not the end of the world. He's only down 3 CS to Smeb's Lucian.
Yeah.
This is not what you would expect. And remember, CuVee hasn't even gone back yet, which I don't know why he swapped to heal prior to going back, because around, a couple of minutes ago, he had enough gold for Seeker's Arm Guard. I have no idea what he is trying to get on his reset or why he's being this greedy with it. And this only actually ends up benefiting Lucian, because when you have Seekers earlier, it really stifles the opponent's ability to lane against you reliably. But if he gets a delayed recall and then Lucian gets a delayed recall, Seekers doesn't have as much potency. So I'm really curious what is going on up here.
Yeah, and I wonder when we're going to find out, too, because we see that Smeb is going to back here. Maybe that'll be CuVee's Q to back. I guess maybe if he wants to play really risky, he'll try to buy parts of a... Okay, well, that's going to fly it through the middle, but the Thresh is still dead as he does not have flash, and the Bard stun was good. But they see Graves, bottom lane, they say immediately, we can try to take this down. They can't trade for a Cloud Drake or anything like that because it's down, and they should get it.
Yeah, with mid lane resetting and Graves running through mid, Ekko should go over with Lucian, zone the Trundle off, and then Herald resets. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why you would ever start the Herald. It's 8.5 minutes in the game, and unless you can solo it without pulling your laners, it's just such a joke of an objective, especially if you're outscaling the opponent.
Or we're just going to fight. YeongJae is going to go down. Marlang taking an immense amount of damage, but he's going to get the Lantern, actually, from way downtown. But CuVee getting exhausted here should still be enough to take him down. As TusiN locks up Lehends. Going to get him there with the ultimate as Lehends now is in a terrible spot, and that is going to be a big swing in gold over to the side of KT, who used Jedi mind tricks to summon them to the fight, and were able to take him out.
Well, it's definitely strange here, as there was no reason to start the Rift Herald ever when so many of the jungle camps were up. I mean, let's just take a look at this. So he's doing the same thing that so many other junglers have done. He just randomly starts the wolf before the Grom. So the pathing is all just misaligned. And he sees the Graves down in bottom, but if you hit tab, you can count Graves as CS. And if you've been following him, you probably know, well, he doesn't have any business on the left-hand side. Trundle goes down right away. If Graves went down a little bit sooner, Trundle passive would end up coming in. And things could be a little bit nicer. TusiN here as well. Tempered Fate, really nice magical journey. Tags Mireu with the exhaust just to guarantee that he doesn't get any funny ideas. And now coming back into live, KT, they're in a really commanding position here. They have the first Infernal Dragon. Cloud's coming up next, and yeah, this is that stunted recall, by the way, with the Kennen. He picks up the Seekers, and then he gets a Hextech Revolver, and Lucian, with his kills, Blade of the Ruin King. So, I mean, why do you have Seekers now? Well, not why, but it's not as effective.
Yeah, he could have gotten it a bit earlier, and potentially had his teleport earlier as well, on time for another objective or something like that. Maybe some kind of dive. And yeah, this is going to be really difficult for him as he's just being called down underneath the turret. The stun, though, isn't enough.
No, it's not. Oh, Pillar?
Yeah, I think he should get him here.
Yeah. Oh, that's a big shutdown.
Yeah, locks it down, and he doesn't have to push this. Oh, he's going to leave it pushing. Wow. There's a lot of good lane manipulation in this game.
Yeah, there actually is. Well, sometimes.
Yeah, it happened a couple of times. I'm getting excited. I really don't know what that was.
I think it's one of those bluffs again. Maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Let's say that was a bluff. He's really trying to put the fear. He was trying to strike the fear into the heart of his opponent. That's really what it was. The art of war. Ooh.
Have you ever read it?
No.
Okay.
No, I did not. I don't even know if that quote is from The Art of War.
This is really interesting. Kennen, even though there's MR on the enemy team, and they probably should get MR in the later stages, went for Sork Pen Boots over Ninja Tab Eyes, despite every member on the enemy team having on-hit effects. It's definitely an interesting purchase. And Mountain Dragon is coming up next. That is a super good dragon for Hanwha Life. Not so much for KT.
Yeah.
But, I mean, KT, when I say not so much for KT, obviously, KT, they would have loved to have rolled Ocean. Is pretty much just what I mean by that.
Yeah. It's all about comparisons.
Yep.
In that case. And, yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, the game has kind of slowed down after the Rift Herald play. KT, they still have it, so we have to see where they want to use this here. You were talking about using it into Azir turrets. We talked about that in Game 1. They didn't end up doing it. But let's see where Marlang wants to drop it this time around. Looks like maybe the top lane. Lucian has already taken out a bunch of these plates. This is what I was saying, where you try to get down to 3 or 2 plates and finish off the turret early.
And boom, it's going to go into the turret. Not going to get the last plate, but still, they have a 1,000 gold advantage, which isn't the end of the world if you're a Hanwha Life fan. They do have those dragons, which are pressuring. Now they're going to get this turret, so Kennen can now try to execute a tier 2 freeze, and we'll see if that is actually going to be a possibility here. Graves and Lucian, though, on the flip side, they're doing something very nice. They're making sure to escort the wave into the turret. Gonna go over now on Sir Grompulus of Croaksworth. you don't know his full name?
No, you mentioned it one time a while ago.
Yeah, I've blanked.
Of Croaksworth. Wasn't,
like Sir Grompulus
was I,
Ribbington of Croaksworth or something. That is.
I don't know if the Croaksworth is correct, but the rest of it, I think you're spot on. Thanks. So well done there. And Kennen was kind of in an awkward spot where there were 2-3 enemies right next to him, and it was a pretty big wave coming in, so he didn't want to freeze it in that case. He just let it come into the turret safely and accepted the minions. Now he's going to look to push out as his lane is pushing.
Well, Hanwha Life just waiting until that Mountain Dragon is going to come up. Call was completed, by the way, by Viper already, so that's helping a little bit in that department. Now, Caitlyn is going to be very strong at this Mountain Dragon fight. We'd also assume that Azir is going to have his Nashor's Tooth by that team fight. And it should be a game-deciding fight, mostly. 2,000 gold lead still in favor of KT. A lot of that on Lucian. So we'll have to see how they manage to utilize him in the team fight. CuVee just continuing to come up here. Playing ping pong with the wave.
Yeah. Trades here between these two millionaires. Just a little bit of back and forth. Nobody, by the way, not a single person on the side of Hanwha Life has purchased a Ninja Tabby item yet.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Not one.
All things considered.
And we're 15 minutes in.
Yeah.
Right? This is... We should have some completed Tier 2 boots by this time.
YeongJae gets Kindle Gem. It's valuing the 10% CDR over having the boots at the mid-game stage. It just really does befuddle me here. As 25 seconds, I really hope they don't think about giving it up. CuVee just swapped to go. Oh, no, okay. He's activated Ghost.
Yeah.
In order to run back to that wave, but now have teleport available. The alternative here is to actually just take the Ghost to the fight, win the fight, or lose it, and then TP top.
That's one way to handle it, as Trundle in a really awkward spot, but they're going to get the box down and the lantern to get him to safety. And that's a nice amount of burst damage that's already laid down. You can see that the Azir is just going to back. He has TP, but there's really not much vision control, so I guess KT is just going to take it as now CuVee being tortured a little bit underneath this wave.
Yeah, Mountain Dragon, though, just going over, so Hanwha Life waiting until next year to try to look for something. I don't know exactly what they're waiting for. It's just sort of like slowly watching paint dry at this point. Caitlyn was pretty strong. They did take an enormous amount of damage, but now they're under so much pressure because of Soul Point.
Yeah, the Soul Point is really the issue. I mean, if they hadn't given every single Drake over to KT, they would have bought themselves a lot of time to try to get Caitlyn a couple extra items, try to get the Azir some items, have them scale a bit, even let the Kennen hit some really important items, such as Zhonya's, or some extra damage, so that they might have a better team fight. But because of this pressure, now it's like, well, do we just give it over? Do we just give it away? Try to sit back and scale more? Do we try to fight and potentially lose the game in a Mountain Drake Soul team fight, where we give over our lives and also the Mountain Soul?
Yeah, I mean, this is where stuff gets a little bit weird. So, I mean, they're locking the 2,000 gold deficit pretty reliably. And I really like the Hex Drinker out of Smeb, because Trundle, the longer that the game goes, he just starts stealing more magic over time, because Cinderhulk keeps ramping up, Subjugate gets extra points into it, yada, yada, yada. And so the Hex Drinker has a lot of value against Kennen, Thresh, Trundle, and Kennen. So it's a nice MR pickup for him along with those Merc Tread boots. And I really like the itemization out of Graves. I mean, we should have seen this last game.
Yeah.
where lethality instantly, and the oppressiveness of Umbleglaive is mostly in that everyone's winning on the side of KT and they just constantly keep removing vision. And Graves will hit like a truck, so we'll see what ends up happening. And I mean, it's getting a lot of benefit as well because of the absent shopkeeper on the side of Hanwha Life.
Yeah. They don't really have much in their inventory here. Looks like the Seeker's Arm Guard was, of course, picked up much earlier on, but now he's going into Blasting Wand, so he's not going to complete the Zhonya's or anything like that. May pick up a stopwatch before the Mountain Drake fight. I'm curious to see how he's going to try to maximize his efficiency in the next fight. Meanwhile, the rest of the lane's kind of just pushing around. And so much vision denial. I mean, they don't have anything over here in the red side. They have a couple of control wards over in their blue side jungle. So they have some control there at least. But I doubt they want to try to, you know, use that to try to maneuver into a fighting position at this point in the game.
Just under 2 minutes until the mountain is going to be coming up. And I don't know where anyone is really going. I think Trundle is trying to go towards the Warmogs. So there's that, I guess.
Merc
Okay, he picks up...
Merc Treads. Will we have any single person on this team buying into Tabby? Now, we've only got one member left.
Why does he need Merc Treads?
I don't have an answer for you. I don't think there's any reason to get it against Ashe, Graves, Lucian.
What?
No.
I'm really trying to think of it here, and I can't come up with an answer. Well, this is definitely something. I mean, I'm sure someone would they would argue in bad faith and say it's for the Ekko stun or the Ashe arrow or something with Bard, but
or like Ashe slow or something.
I really don't get it, especially because Trundle, his main goal is just to tank.
Yeah, we understand
everyone else.
that there is CC in their lineup.
Yeah.
We're saying that Ninja Tabby is about 7,000 times better. Okay, it's about the comparison. And that's really the point. But here we go. We have this Mountain Drake fight starting up as Mireu is going to face check, and he's dead. So there you go, as they're going to lock him down. We see the flank coming in from Kennen. He was spotted, I believe. Maybe not, though. He might have been able to skirt around there. Well, he's going to be spotted now anyway. So this should be the Mountain Soul going the way of KT, as CuVee, he's going to be stuck now. The rest of Hanwha Life is running north. I don't think they can run at a Baron or anything, so they're kind of just lost at sea for what it's worth right now. They're just going to take this free kill onto CuVee and then take down the Mountain Soul. And herein lies the problem. This is what we were talking about before. Do you try to fight over the Mountain Drake? Do you just give it away? Both of them can lead to some very dire situations. Of course, getting caught out before the fight even begins is probably the worst of all of the scenarios, as Azir bought Mark Treads too.
I mean, it's pretty indefensible. I mean, I don't know totally what to say. Is he buying it there because he just got caught by Ekko and that's the conclusion? I mean, the recency bias is definitely strong here. So,
also
Viper,
their Thresh is first item Mikhail's. So like, and they have lanterns, they have abilities. He has dashes to get out of CC. And well, Viper might be in some trouble here. He's gonna take the lantern though. It's going to be just fine. Now, the game isn't doomed from here. Obviously, there have been some egregious mistakes made by the side of Hanwha Life, but they still have Caitlyn Azir, and we've seen crazier things happen.
I feel like there's that GIF of Childish Gambino with the pizza boxes.
Yeah.
Everything's on fire.
Runs into the room.
Oh man. Well, this is definitely a game. You are right. Caitlyn and Azir are rapid sustained damage rather than just being combo centric. And so in that regard, those are the kind of champions that are good against Mountain, because it's not like you're going in and out of team fights and opponents just keep getting multiple Mountain Soul activations. So yes, both of them are good, but at the same time, there's so much of a disaster surrounding them everywhere. I don't really know what to think. If Hanwha Life actually finds a way to win this, this is truly something else. I mean, we did see an Infernal Soul comp earlier really struggle, but this team composition, I think, is much more able to thread the needle at the end.
Yeah. And, I mean, you've got some really fed members on the side of KT. You've got 4 1-on-1 Lucian, who is 2.5 items. He's probably got some gold in those pockets at the same time. You have the very well-farmed Graves, who is up to 200 CS, has a couple of kills and assists in his pocket, so he's going to be nearing a 3rd item as well. Ekko, of course, on 2 items, going to be looking to scale up himself. And really, I think the only saving grace for the side of Hanwha Life will be the Caitlyn, who does have the most farm in the game, has the 1 kill, and it's Viper, so he's really the ace in the hole, right? If you will. That's a nice little play, but Smeb is going to get McHale's out of the hook.
And, well, Hanwha Life, I am not really sure what they're hoping to be their final break point.
They're hunkering down.
Yeah, they're waiting.
Defense.
They're waiting for Azir to hit 2 items. We are at 25 minutes into this game, by the way. Azir does not
26.
26. Azir does not have his 2nd item yet. This is so stunted.
You should definitely have it now, though.
Oh yeah, he has it on recall. It's gonna be Lehends, which is, it's something. But oh!
Oh, it could not be any better. Oh, that's perfect. That's just the cap. That's the cherry on top right there. That's just so good. I love it. That's going to be a little bit of an arrow as Viper. What was that ultimate? He's just going to get denied from the backside here. Ucal is angry and looking for some dinner. He's going to pick up 3 kills now. And they might just push in. The Trundle went on a little journey up into the enemy jungle. And they'll at least pick up the inhibitor from here.
Inhibitor is falling. Azir is, well, I mean, not really.
Yeah, they're just getting zapped down. And that should be this game 2 going the way of KT, and we will be going into a game 3 after all of this, as KT are able to eventually take the win